In this world, everyone awakens with only one element and one class, yet there's one guy who awakens with 5 elements at once. The system tells him this gives him a special privilege. He can choose any class linked to those elements as his starting path, and once an element gathers enough energy, he can either unlock a new class or evolve an existing one. It opens the possibility of infinite awakenings. For now, he has a one-time chance to choose his starting class while keeping the ability to gain more in the future. Moments later, Bai Yi makes his choice and steps out of the awakening room. Teacher Huang looks at him with hope, but Bai Yi just sighs and says he awakened as a nuclear warrior, a dust rank, the lowest quality. The teacher is disappointed, but still tries to encourage him, saying even low-rank awakeners can rise with enough effort. That's when the main bully steps in and starts mocking him. Chongshen sneers that the weak exist only to be stepped on. Bai Yi doesn't argue. He steps forward, grabs the cup in Chongshen's hand, and crushes it. The drink explodes all over his face. Then, Bai Yi calmly says he doesn't like it when Chongshan talks. The enraged bully snaps from such a bold move and throws his strongest punch with all his energy. Bai Yi activates his block and parry skills, stopping the attack instantly. In a single move, Chang is sent flying, crashing to the ground with blood spilling from his mouth. Everyone freezes. Chang shouts in rage that he's Abyss rank and that Bai Yi just got lucky. Next time he'll crush him. But Teacher Huang is stunned. What Bai Yi just used wasn't luck. It was a top-tier warrior technique, a perfect parry executed with a reaction time of 0.09 seconds. That's something even teachers struggle to master after 10 years, and Bai Yi just did it effortlessly. Little do they know, he's actually a regressor, and this is how he died last time. The story revolves around our main character, Bai Yi, the strongest guy and leader of the Awakened Squad. While he seems to be conquering the world, his world is turned upside down when he's betrayed by his own comrade. A comrade whom Bai Yi called family and trusted blindly, betrayed him ruthlessly. The wound ran deeper than any blade, for it was his comrade who struck it. Bai Yi witnesses all his other beloved comrades die before his eyes. Our guy also gets annihilated, but little did he know, the next moment would alter the course of his destiny. It happens when our main character meets in the realm of the Demon King, Bellefelagor, whom he thought he'd killed. That Demon King gives him another chance at life in the name of regression. Not only that, our boy also receives a peculiar heart that has the potential to amplify his potential. That's when Bai Yi regresses to 20 years ago. As he opens his eyes in the past, he sees his class teacher Han Huang standing before him, scolding him for sleeping right before the awakening ceremony. Our boy is overwhelmingly shocked to find himself back in his middle school days, right before he entered the awakening. As our boy walks towards the back of the classroom, he realizes that he hasn't seen the faces of his classmates in nearly 20 years. When Bai Yi reaches the back, Teacher Huang resumes her lecture. She explains to students that there are 5 elemental powers in this world: lightning, flower, cloud, nuclear, and stellar. Each person is capable of embodying only one element. Teacher Huang demonstrates that she possesses the rarest cloud element. Depending on how the element bonds with the body, they are classified into 3 categories: combat, support, and special. The combination of 5 elements with different roles creates numerous professions within their school. The most formidable guild team consists of a stellar mage, cloud warrior, nuclear bard, and lightning assistants. There are nearly 100 recognized awakened professions. These professions are ranked from lowest to highest: dust, ember, abyss, and celestial. The teacher then emphasizes how important this day is for all the students, since they get only one chance to awaken. Once the profession is bestowed upon them, it will decide their future status in the world. Later, as our boy strolls through the school playground, he gazes at the building, and a quiet melancholy settles within him as he recalls that this is where he first awakened. His thoughts are abruptly interrupted as a boy collapses beside him. When our boy turns around, he witnesses a group of senior boys bullying the fallen guy, whom he recognizes as the Four Eyes. The senior student mocks the boy for relying on the artificial awakening, sneering that before the rare red-tier awakener like him, the boy will forever remain inferior. Our boy immediately recognizes the senior as the notorious troublemaker. At the same moment, Teacher Huang arrives, scolding the senior boys for their misconduct. The senior quickly fabricates an excuse that the younger student is the one who bumped into him. Then, with a smug grin, he leans closer to Miss Huang and whispers something, threatening her job. As the bullies begin to walk away, one of them shoves Bai Yi on the shoulder. The teacher immediately helps the younger boy to his feet. Just then, some students rush over to inform Huang that it's her class's turn for the awakening. She gathers all her students and instructs them firmly to stay completely calm throughout the process to avoid any kind of injury. Our hero recalls that there are two awakening methods in this world. One is natural awakening, like the one possessed by Senior Hong Chang. It usually manifests in individuals with exceptional physical strength and natural talent, and happens automatically during moments of extreme emotional intensity. The second method uses the awakening chamber, the crystallization of countless scientists' wisdom. And inside this chamber, a person's emotions and adrenaline are driven to their peak, forcing potential awakenings. Now it's Yi's turn. The teacher calls him up and warns him not to doze off like he did in class. Our boy steps into the chamber with quiet confidence. In his previous life, Yi had awakened as an E-rank nuclear warrior, a dust-tier profession. It had earned him constant humiliation. Later on, Sai awakened the rarest type. This time, as he owns the nuclear element, he wonders what profession will he get. The system detects 5 elements, and our boy can feel an overwhelming surge of heat coursing through his veins, as if his entire body is about to ignite. The system instructs our hero that since he possesses 5 elemental types in his body, he has the privilege to choose any class from among these elements as his initial task. And once a particular element gathers enough energy, he can either unlock a new class for that element or evolve his existing one to a higher form. As our boy listens, realization dawns that the heart bestowed upon him by Bella Felagor has made this miracle possible. It has granted him the ability of infinite awakenings. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, a chance for Bai Yi to decide his current awakened status and initial class while retaining the power to obtain new professions in the future. The system warns him to choose his class wisely. Moments later, our boy steps out of the chamber. Teacher Huang looks at him expectantly, but he responds with a disappointed expression, claiming that he has awakened as a nuclear warrior, the lowest green quality. The teacher tries to hype him up, reminding that even among those with green quality awakenings, many have risen to greatness. She gently advises him to take some rest and not lose hope. They begin to walk away. Hong Shang Shen stands nearby, smirking as he remarks that Ye will need a lot of hard work. His tone drips with arrogance as he sneers at Teacher Huang, ridiculing her for her pathetic optimism. The boy's mate backs him up as he mentions how the dusk rank quality means that Bai is at the absolute bottom. Chang coldly remarks that this is how the world works. The people God chooses are the strong ones, and the weak only exist to be trampled upon. Those with the dust rank quality are destined to sit in the back row during lessons, for that's how the society is. No power means no future. Always in the shadows, abandoned by fairness. The strong continue to grow stronger as they receive the resources they need. From the very moment a dust rank weakling awakens, their fate is already sealed that they can only ever remain at the bottom among the awakened. He mocks our boy that as for the dust rank, they should go back home instead of wasting the government's resources. Our boy steps forward and seizes the glass from the bully's hand. The drink bursts violently, splattering across his face. He coldly remarks that he dislikes it when Chang Shang speaks. The senior boy gets provoked and prepares himself to blow a punch. As he charges, our boy activates his skills, blocked to halt the attack, and parry to counter it. In an instant, the senior boy is sent flying backward, collapsing some distance away with blood trickling from his mouth. The other students watching from a distance stands frozen in disbelief. Our boy knows, and he is satisfied to choose the dust rank because he is used to it. Chang emphasizes that he is a rare abyss rank, completely different from Bai. Miss Huang can hardly believe this is mere luck. She noted how our boy used a top-tier movement exclusive to the warrior technique, parry, to block the damage at the very instant of receiving the strongest attack. To her astonishment, with an impossible reaction time of 0.09 seconds. Ye reflected the physical damage back onto his opponent, a move even teachers struggle to master, even after 10 years of practice. The bully threatens to make Ye crawl before him, yet our boy remains calm and composed, fully aware of what he must do. After all, he chose this seemingly weakest class himself. In Bai's point of view, judging a person's future and life from birth is a grave mistake that everyone will realize many years from now. The other students start to feel sorry for our boy as they know he will lose in front of so many people. One of them mentions how Hong Shen's family is a high-ranking officer household, with his uncle being the school's dean. On the other hand, Bai's family is poor, with no powerful background. The four-eyed guy grows worried, realizing Bai could get expelled for fighting a senior. The teacher tries to stop them, claiming that they can fight in the future and should rest for now since they have recently awakened. The bully shouts at her to stay away because his junior dared to provoke him, and he claims that he wouldn't stop even if Ye gets on his knees to beg for forgiveness. Teacher Huang hesitates, thinking that the boy is right. The reason for the huge difference between qualities lies in the difference in attribute bonuses. A dust rank qualities bonus is 100%, meaning no change. A glimmer ranker gets 150%, while an abyss rank receives 200%. The moment one awakens, an abyss ranker's attributes are doubled compared to a dust ranker, and this enormous difference in power can never be overcome. Four Eyes realizes how crushed our guy is and tries to figure out why he would offend someone so much stronger than him. According to him, to struggle and survive in this society, they need to avoid fights. Only those who can bend and kneel can survive, and confronting someone head-on is foolish. Meanwhile, the bully charges forward. The teacher wonders how our boy will use parry again, since it consumes a massive amount of power and Hong's attack strength is too high. However, as Chang Shtong attacks, he is automatically dodged by Bai's skill and collapses on the ground, blood spilling from his mouth. The watching students stand perplexed, unable to figure out what just happened. Even the teacher is confused at that moment. Class President Chi Yin pieces it together in her mind. When Chang Shang attacked, Ye once again activated the unique warrior skill, Swiftness, the advanced form of Flash Blink. This means Bai Yi has not only mastered the highest level usage of a warrior's basic skill, but can also apply it seamlessly in real combat. Our boy realized he was right when he thought that fighting with his profession earns professional experience, and defeating an opponent of a certain element grants elemental points. He decides to start clearing labyrinths as soon as possible to gain more. The bully shrieks at him not to leave and tries to attack again, but he is stopped by the Dean of the Awakening Academy, Hong Liang. The Dean tells the students to go home since it is the weekend. As our boy hears the word home, he remembers something important that happened on Awakening Day, May 22nd, 2105. This is the crucial moment he needs to change. He immediately starts running away from school. The dean tries to stop him, but Ye does not listen. The dean tells the teacher to keep her students under control, and she apologizes. Later in the dean's office, Chang insists that our hero only got lucky, but the dean shuts him down. He explains that Ye did something extraordinary during the fight. When Chang Shang charged, he used the high-level skill Flash Blink, and more importantly, in the split second before blinking, he found the weakest point on Chang Shang's body and struck it hard enough to break his defense completely. This entire sequence was done using only basic warrior skills, and even the teacher with 15 years of battlefield experience can't necessarily execute it with such proficiency. He points out that the boy isn't as simple as Chang Shang thinks. Meanwhile, our hero runs with his heart pounding, knowing that aside from his revenge, this is the most important thing he must do after being given a second chance at life. He needs to stop it, even if it costs him his life.
The same day, as our boy reaches his house, his eyes tear up watching his mother alive. His dad, who's sitting in the lounge watching television, greets him and complains about him coming back early from school. Our boy's beloved mom, who cannot speak, informs him through sign language that she has made hot and sour noodles for him. Bai Yi expresses that he wants to eat pickled fish today, knowing well that he just wants his mom to go out of the house. He claims to go with his mother, but his dad stops him and says that his mom can go alone.
As our boy turns around to face his father asks him about the rank he has awakened, expecting something good since he is the son of Bai Ling, the electric warrior. Bai Yi lies abruptly that he didn't get the chance to awaken today since the awakening takes too long. Ling mentions that Dalai's son awakens as a glimmer rank class and throws in a comment about how both father and son are worthless. Father claims in a sharp tone that he awakened as an abyss ranker in his time with nothing, and he expects the same from his son. He lists how he has worked his tail off to support his son and then shrieks, demanding an answer. Our boy stays quiet. The father smashes the glass bottle on his son's head. His body becomes surrounded by a green aura. The father realizes that his son has awakened as a dust ranker. He shouts at his son for pretending to be so earnest at school, and all he could awaken as is a dust ranker. This rewinds everything that happens on the same day in his previous life. When our boy's father finds out about his class, he creates a big scene at home. His mom stands in front of him to protect him, and his brutal father keeps beating his mom for an entire hour to vent his rage. That day, Bai's mom's leg is broken, and a heavy blow on her head leaves her mentally unstable. At that time, our hero can't help his mother because he is weak, but this time it's different. Our boy knows that he is awakened as an E-class nuclear warrior, and he chooses this class for its special traits. In front of him is his father, a C-class abyss ranker. Unlike Cheng Yi, his father has plenty of real combat experience. Our boy is satisfied that at least he got his mom out of the house. His father, eyes filled with wrath, keeps beating his son. In the same moment, our hero notices his mother entering the house. He realizes that she has returned to feed him. His father, enraged, turns toward his mom, cursing her for giving birth to Bai Yi, whom he considers trash. Our hero is dragged into a flashback. He is seated inside a cold prison room, a man across from him, questioning the reason he has been brought there. Bai Yi, deeply traumatized, states numbly that his father deserved to die, for he had brutally murdered his mother. The thought snaps him back to the present. A skilled awakened, even without activating any abilities, is vastly stronger than an ordinary person. A normal human could never withstand even a single punch from such an existence. Our boy collapses as his brutal father lands a heavy blow on him. Before the next strike can fall, his mother rushes forward, placing herself between them to shield his son. Ling Shang sneers, recalling how overjoyed he had been when his wife was carrying a son. He had believed that this child would mark the moment the B family rose once more. He had been filled with pride, convinced that the glory of their ancestors would still depend on him alone. Stepping closer to his wife, Ling Shang shrieks at her for blaming her trashy genes for their son awakening the lowest, most worthless class. As he raises his hand to slap her, our hero activates Flash Blink, instantly placing himself between them to block the strike. Bai Yi's eyes burn with wrath as he warns his father not to lay a hand on his mother again. Ling responds with a crooked smirk, claiming he is impressed with his son's grown-up behavior. When Bai Yi uses parry to counter Ling Shang's attack, the sword shatters on impact. In that instant, Yi realizes the terrifying truth: the power gap between them is several-fold. The overwhelming force sends pain ripping through his body. Blood spills from his face, and his ribs scream as though they are about to fracture. Seeing his son resist only further provokes Ling. Black lightning crackles around his attack as he strikes again. This time, our boy stands firm, choosing not to dodge.
Ling curses his son's very existence, declaring that such a disgrace deserves to die. At the same time, our hero silently swears that he will never allow this tragedy to repeat itself. Grabbing a chair, his father reminds him that he is the boss in this house. Suddenly, a shout comes from outside, demanding that the door be opened. When Ling Shang opens it, he is met by Inspectorate Deputy Captain Liang and investigator Chen Jinwu. Liang explains that they have received reports of a wanted criminal, Snow, appearing near the building and asks whether Ling Shang has seen anyone suspicious. Ling hastily replies that he has only seen Snow on television and insists that he would report immediately if such a man appeared. During the exchange, Inspector Liang's gaze falls on Bai's bloodied face, prompting him to question what happened. Without hesitation, Ling lies, claiming that the careless boy fell while buying groceries and dismisses it as a trivial family matter not worth the inspector's concern. Bai abruptly speaks up, his voice steady by the pain. He denies the lie and tells the truth. His father was the one who hit him. 18 minutes earlier, before entering the building, our smart boy makes a call from the small shop across the street, informing the authorities that he has seen Snow in his building. Inspector Lee inquires whether Bai's statement is true. His father abruptly lies, insisting that he would never hit his own son in such a manner. Bai walks toward the inspector and calmly explains how his arm is struck by a stool and his head by a wine bottle. He states that the injuries on his body can be formally evaluated. He further reminds them that awakeners who cannot control their violent behavior and arbitrarily harm others must, according to the Divine Canon's Awakener Management Regulations, Chapter 8, Article 4, be immediately detained. As Ling Shang attempts to scold him, an officer stops him and informs him that he is under legal arrest and must remain silent. He tries to rush towards Yi, but the inspectors restrain him and escort him away. As they leave, Bai's mother runs forward and hugs him tightly. He feels inward pride that this time he didn't let anything happen to his mother. He also reminds himself that his father will remain imprisoned for the next 15 days, and he has to prepare himself well in this time. During the chaos, our hero successfully swipes a key from his father. The key belongs to a safe containing an item his father once used without hesitation to betray his own friends, allowing him to climb from the bottom of E rank to C rank. This secret his father hides from everyone in his life. Bai only learns of it after his father's death in his previous life. Later that night, our boy stands before the safe and carefully unlocks it. Inside rests a terrifying blade. As he grips the blade firmly, his path becomes clear. Demon caves are the only way to upgrade his class, and he has no other choice but to enter them. These caves exist in parallel spaces. Doors appear suddenly across the world, and once discovered, guilds quickly seize control of them. Demon caves are filled with demonic beasts and rare ores, making them the fastest way for awakeners to grow stronger. Normally, only guild members are permitted inside. The few caves Bai can access are managed by the school.
His particular hidden demon cave is something he remembers from his past life, one that will only be discovered years later. He sets out immediately, determined to surpass everyone as quickly as possible. Meanwhile, in the Inspectorate detention room, officers discuss the earlier Snow sighting and conclude that it is a false alarm. Even so, they treat such reports with seriousness. Ling sits restrained, burning with anger. He attempts to bribe the officers, and his behavior disgusts them, especially given his past as a guild member. Officer Chen Jinwu warns him that bribery will only worsen his charges. Ling is ordered to remain detained for the night and will be transferred to the Awakener prison in the morning. Our knows his father will be released in 15 days. Time is short, and he must grow stronger. Demon caves are extremely dangerous spaces, and survival usually requires a team. An F-rank cave requires at least 3 E-rank warriors, while an E-rank cave demands even greater strength. He believes the hidden cave is only F rank. Even so, the danger remains extreme. With no other option, he enters alone. Determined to grow as strong as possible, armed with the blade taken from his father's safe, Bei steps through the door. Ice and snow stretch endlessly around him, and the air is bitterly cold. Bei realizes he has entered the domain of a cloud-type magic beast. As he advances, he spots a massive ice bear sleeping ahead. Human skeletons are scattered before it, confirming that others have entered this place before. Suddenly, danger erupts. A bloodthirsty forest wolf lunges toward him. The E-rank beast is still stronger than Bei. Our hero raises the blade and blocks its fangs, the impact sending a violent shock through his arms. He counterattacks immediately, and the wolf eventually collapses. This is the power of an A-rank weapon, one capable of filling the gap in his current combat strength. Such a blade does not exist on the market, which is why his father keeps it hidden. He determines that advancing one level in an E-rank profession requires killing 20 wolves, and that 10 such levels are needed to advance from E-rank to D-rank. Standing within the frozen domain, Bei tightens his grip on the weapon. Soon, he sees a group of wolves approaching. He realizes that they have smelled the blood, which has drawn them toward him. Our boy realizes that this is a perfect but dangerous opportunity to level up. The wolves attack together, but Ye relies on his dodge and counterattack skills. He moves fluidly between them, avoiding damage while steadily cutting them down. Each kill grants him wolf fangs as loot. After clearing the pack, the Wolf King appears. Using his agility, Ye lands multiple cuts across its body, giving it no chance to recover. The Wolf King eventually falls, rewarding him with a rare Snow Wolf diamond. With enough accumulated experience, our hero successfully upgrades to D rank. Despite the victory, exhaustion quickly sets in. After killing only 20 wolves, he is already tired, a clear reminder of how weak E-rank bodies truly are. Our boy decides to get a dimensional backpack first to store his loot. He also acknowledges how difficult it is to clear a demonic cave alone, and knows that the only way to access high-tier demonic caves is by joining the Divine Corpse Guild team. Since awakening schools are controlled by guilds, representatives are often sent to scout promising students. Graduating and joining a guild is every student's dream, but being expelled from a team usually ends one's career. This is exactly what happened to his father, leaving him stuck at C rank. Assessing his situation, our boy realizes that since the weather is freezing, fighting alone will continue to drain his stamina. While he was thinking, another pack of wolves appears, but this time, our boy decides to use a trick he has prepared. He runs, drawing the wolves after him, and leads them into a forest. There, he cuts down trees to create space, disturbing the territory of another beast, the Cloud Python. Now surrounded by wolves and pythons, our boy sets his plan into motion. He triggers a loud explosion, aiming to awaken a specific threat. The frost bear erupts from its den in a furious rage. The enraged beast attacks everything in sight, smashing wolves and pythons. While the frost bear rages, Ye strikes from behind, finishing off weakened enemies and rapidly gaining experience points. He exploits the beast's weaknesses, knowing that while they are aggressive, they lack intelligence. By using the frost bear against the other monsters, our smart boy conserves his stamina. Still, he must land the final blows to claim the experience. Now it was time for the next phase. Once the beasts line up, Ye strikes the ice-covered ground and shatters it. He has been analyzing the terrain and realizes they are standing on an ice bridge suspended between two cliffs. The collapse wipes out almost all the beasts in a single move. Our boy is completely exhausted, yet he still has to deal with the frost bear and a few remaining wolves. At that moment, the system unlocks a new title for him, 1 against 100. With this title active, his stats increase. Despite this, Ye is not immediately concerned about the frost bear. He knows every demonic cave has a final boss, and he expects it to appear soon. For an E-rank demonic cave, he concludes the boss should be something like the brutal Lion King of E10. Our hero has already caused enough chaos and wonders why the boss has not revealed itself in response. Suddenly, a powerful ice spell crashes down on the area. Before Bai can react, both he and the remaining beasts are struck. Our smart guy instantly realized his assumption was wrong. The final boss has already awakened and has been waiting for the perfect moment. When everyone is exhausted, gathered at one spot, and when there is no way out, the ice spreads rapidly, freezing his legs in place. He realizes that the ice bridge was part of the boss's trap, carefully prepared to gather all targets in one spot before harvesting the rewards. It becomes clear to him that the final boss of the cave is definitely intelligent. The creature reveals itself as a demon save lord, accompanied by several ape guards. Almost our boy's entire body is encased in ice, leaving him unable to move while the demon monkey watches with a cruel expression. This realization tells Ye that the cave is a high-risk zone, one that normally requires a full team of E-rank warriors. With his body frozen solid, he fears slipping into hypothermia, which would mean certain death. The demon lord raises its hand and orders its subordinates to attack. With no way to escape, our fighter activates his parry skill. He waits until the moment an attack is about to land, then triggers both parry and shatter. The ice binding his body explodes apart as he blocks the incoming blow. Although he breaks free, our guy knows he is in grave danger.
The shatter skill consumes an enormous amount of stamina, draining him heavily. Yi judges that the Demon Cave Lord will need time before using another ultimate skill of the same magnitude. He realizes he must defeat the boss before that happens. However, at the same time, the Demon Lord orders the ice bears and wolves to attack. Because the Nucleo element performs poorly against the cloud element, Bai Yi knows his chances are slim. His stamina is nearly depleted and exhaustion weighs heavily on him. Our boy clearly knows that if more wolves arrive, he will not survive. As he searches desperately for a solution, one of the monkey beasts suddenly attacks, swinging a heavy club toward him. Our poor guy barely manages to block it and is sent sliding backward, his knee scraping harshly against the ice as he struggles to keep his balance. The impact drains the last of his strength, pushing him into a severe disadvantage, and the bitter cold continues to sap his remaining stamina. When the demon notices that Yi is nearly spent, it unleashes another ultimate skill, an ice storm. He is stunned, completely unprepared for the Demon Lord's ultimate skill to have such a short cooldown. In that instant, memories from his past life surface, reminding him of the countless moments where he stood on the edge of life and death. From those experiences, he developed a sharp instinct for recognizing fleeting opportunities. In his current condition, our guy understands that he has only two choices. He can stay and fight, but with his stamina nearly depleted and his body continuously taking damage, survival is impossible. The second option is far simpler. He must run. Without hesitation, our boy chooses to escape and leaps off the cliff. However, before he can get away, the Demon Lord strikes him with an ice spell. Ice forms around his feet, throwing him off balance and turning his escape into a fall. Encased in ice, poor Yi crashes into the freezing river below. As our boy struggles for survival in the dungeon, his mother enters his room back home. Believing he is still asleep, she is shocked to find the room empty. She finds a note he left behind, claiming he went to a friend's house and urging her not to worry. Instead of easing her mind, the note only heightens her anxiety, as she knows she would never leave without telling her in person. She cannot shake the feeling that something is wrong, especially since he has been acting differently since the day before. Back in the dungeon, our hero survives the fall. Jumping off the cliff was also part of his plan. He remembers that when he shattered the ice bridge earlier, nearly 100 beasts fell into the river, yet he only received rewards for 40 of them, meaning the rest survived. Our poor boy coughs in pain as he drags himself out of the freezing river. Though he survives, he is running on extremely low stamina. He suffers from blood loss, low body temperature, and is in a completely weakened state. His body is also severely damaged from falling from such a height. Without a doubt, he knows he is at his limit. As he lies there, he wonders if this is truly the end. Before he realizes it, a cloud element beast approaches, ready to finish him off. As he draws closer, our boy reminisces. He remembers his time with the Divine Core, the good moments with his teammates, and his mother's care. He also remembers his father's wickedness and the pain of the traitor's betrayal. A voice in his head tells him, "This is the end." Our hero immediately decides that it is not over. He manages to stand just as the cloud beast is about to finish him. He stops its giant teeth from closing in. Yi is determined that the bad things from his past life will not be repeated. He has already died once, losing everything. This time, he plans to turn it all around. With newfound determination, he smashes the cloud beast and throws it into the distance. Then he grabs his sword again. His desperate attempt triggers something that pushes him toward a class advancement. Our hero stands alone, surrounded by beasts and wolves. His decision to solo the dungeon and face dangerous beasts is meant to make him feel the same desperation from his past. This feeling triggers an adrenaline rush that he hopes will cause a class advancement. Though he nearly dies, he doesn't meet the conditions. However, instead of a class advancement, he learns a new ultimate skill, Nucleo Sullen Swordsman. While his class doesn't advance, this skill is extremely useful and ahead of its time. With this skill and the surge of adrenaline, our guy brims with energy. He points his sword at the beasts and is determined to wipe out all of them. As they approach, he unleashes a swirling high-speed attack called Sanctuary, cutting through all the surrounding beasts in a single slash. After eliminating the monsters, he acquires items such as Ice Field, Beast Hide, Proud Barebone, and Bloodtooth. The Sanctuary skill clears his fatigue and restores his lost stamina. In addition, our guy obtains the Icefield Wanderer title. He stares at the top of the cliff, vowing to wipe out the remaining beasts, including their boss. With the flood of experience points, he upgrades to level 9 of E-Class. He immediately activates the Icefield Wanderer effect to resist the cold. The Sanctuary skill also allows him to store damage from enemy attacks and release it against a group of enemies at once, though he can only use this effect after taking significant damage. Our guy then remembers that he must finish quickly and return home before his mother worries. He climbs the cliff and makes his way toward the Demon Monkey Boss's palace. The Demon Lord is protected by ice beasts, but Yi doesn't care and bursts into the palace. Meanwhile, it is now 11 p.m. and Yi's mother is deeply worried. She prepares food but is left wondering where her son is. She prays that he is safe. Inside the boss's palace, our boy takes out the ice bears guarding the entrance and is left to face the Lord's personal guards, the frightening monkeys. The Demon Lord looks unafraid and orders his guards to take Yi out. One monkey jumps at him, but our guy simply blocks the attack and easily slices it in half. Seeing this, the Demon Lord realizes the situation is dire and angrily unleashes his ultimate skill, Ice Storm Assault. But it has no effect on Yi, who is now immune. He dashes toward the demon boss, and in desperation, the boss raises his staff, activating a spell which pushes the other monkeys into a hyper state. But our guy doesn't see them as a threat. He sees them only as beasts he must kill to reach D-Class. He cuts through the monkeys effortlessly before severing one of the Lord's arms. The Demon Lord screams in pain as blood pours from the stump. Before it can react, it finds our hero staring at it with a deathly gaze. He unleashes a series of slashes across the boss's body, defeating it. The system confirms the defeat of the King of Azure Forest. He advances to D-Class as a Nucleo Warrior. The items appear for him to collect. Due to the experience gained from fighting a cloud element enemy, the system informs him that a new profession is about to awaken. Yi is shocked, having forgotten about this possibility. Our boy now awakens the cloud element mage profession, allowing him to switch professions at any time. Our hero is thrilled to awaken a red profession, even at E-Class. Unlike the Nucleo class, which grants a 100% bonus, the red class provides a 200% bonus.
Its strength is already on par with his current class. As he loots the area, the remaining beasts only watch him. When he finishes, Bai looks up and realizes that some beasts have survived. Having just awakened a new profession, he decides to test it on them. He switches to mage mode and prepares to annihilate them. It is now 5 a.m. The next morning, Sunday, Vi's mother has not slept and sits in the living room hoping for her son's return. At that moment, our guy opens the door and she immediately stands up. He enters with a smile, apologizing for making her worry. His mother rushes over and hugs him tightly while crying. Ye is shocked to realize she has been waiting all night and has not eaten. He then tells her that he has good news. After leaving the dungeon, outside, Ye meets an ore broker who offers to buy the ore for 800. Our boy counters with 8,000, shocking the broker. He does not argue and simply takes the ore back. Forced to react, the broker raises his offer to 2,000, but Ye counters again with 5,000. The broker continues to argue, but when he realizes this boy will not stop, he reluctantly agrees to buy the ore for 7,000. Experienced with brokers from his past life, our smart boy knows exactly how to deal with them. Using the money from the sale, he rents an apartment for his mother. In his past life, she suffered through endless hardships. This time, Ye wants only to take care of her and ensure she lives comfortably. He finalizes the apartment deal in front of his mother. By 8 p.m. that Sunday, they settled into the new apartment. Our sweet guy feels so happy seeing his mother smile, as it has been a long time since he last saw such an expression on her face. Even with a new apartment and his rise from E class to D class, Ye knows he cannot lower his guard because of his father. He makes up his mind for school tomorrow and finds that thing. At the same time, Hong trains relentlessly, jumping from one labyrinth to another without rest. When his sister tries to persuade him to stop, he slaps her hand away. He is determined to ace the combat simulation test and prove everyone who the real genius is. Hong is willing to do anything to remain on top. Elsewhere, an unknown individual checks the list of newly awakened students and feels disappointed by the lack of exceptional talent. The next morning, at 7:30 a.m., Ye's mother prepares food for him. He is shocked to realize that he is running late. His mother excuses that he was sleeping so peacefully that she could not bear to disturb him. She pats his head and urges him to eat slowly. Comforted by his mother, our obedient guy calms down, realizing that it has been a long time since he last slept peacefully or enjoyed an unhurried breakfast. Just then, his mother asks if there is anything he wants. Our boy is surprised by the sudden offer of gifts. His mother reminds him that his birthday is next Friday, June 5th. It dawns on Bai that she is right, but he completely forgot as it has been too long since he last celebrated it. After his mother died in his past life, no one celebrated his birthday again, and he gradually forgot about it. As he eats, our guy racks his brain to think of something he wants, but he feels confused because he already has what he truly desires. His next and most important goal is to kill the traitor who caused the deaths of him and his teammates. The next scene takes us to Bai's school. When Bai arrives, he learns that they are preparing for a combat simulation. The teacher stands before the newly awakened students and explains the event. He tells them that the academy is supervised by the Divine Guild, which will be watching their every move. The combat simulation is the best opportunity to impress them. He explains that it will serve as the school's graduation assessment and will be broadcast live. The best performer will be selected to participate in a training camp with the high school division. The camp is held only once a year and is the best opportunity to connect with the Divine Guild. The school usually organizes top students from both middle school and high school to travel together to the Shanghai Nation, the Divine Guild headquarters. Our guy remembers the Shanghai Nation as the place where he met Master and where the traitor was born. However, the traitor never met Master as he joined the Divine Corps later. Ye knows he must achieve a high score in the assessment to enter the training camp, which will give him more chances to find the traitor. The teacher then points to the training room for their first session, physical conditioning in the gravity room, where everyone must begin with 10 sets of shuttle runs. Unexpectedly, our boy steps forward and tells the teacher that he does not want to use the recommended training room. The teacher warns him not to get ahead of himself just because he defeated Hong, believing that Ye is trying to skip training. Our boy clarifies that he wants more specialized training. Confused, the teacher asks whether he is implying there is a problem with his methods. Ye explains that physical conditioning is necessary for most awakeners, so the gravity room is not a bad option. However, he believes that shuttle runs are best suited for classes like assassins and warriors, which rely on speed and coordination, and not everyone needs this type of training. He states that classes such as mages and chanters are better trained in the element room. He adds that everyone should be allowed to train differently since their classes function differently. Hearing this, the teacher gets enraged and points out that Bai is essentially teaching him how to do his job. Qian overhears the conversation and is shocked. She realizes that Bai's proposed training method is the same one a Divine Core training officer, Mr. Danyang, mentioned. It's a new approach, and she only knows about it because her father brought home the videotape. Ye is surprised that our guy independently comes up with the same idea. Instead of getting angry, the teacher pats our smart boy on the shoulder, smiles, and says that the training method he mentioned is interesting. He then explains that with so many students, it is difficult to cater to everyone's specific needs in the short term. He points out that the combat simulation evaluates student performance, and if something goes wrong, it could affect a student's entire future. Our guy remembers that although he had a troubled family in his past life, his teacher supported him and helped him grow into a responsible person. He looks at the teacher and assures him he will not let him down. The teacher then asks our guy how he plans to train as a nuclear warrior. Ye suggests turning the elemental suppression in the element room to its maximum setting. He lies, saying that although he is a warrior, he wants to balance his abilities and challenge his weaknesses, hiding the fact that he intends to train his mage profession. At that moment, Qian raises her hand and proposes that she is also interested in practicing element control. The teacher gives in and allows them to train as they wish, urging them to do their best.
During the final assessment preparation, Qian approaches Inbai and suggests that they train together, but he quickly tells her that he is entering a private room and rejects her. While training in the element room, our guy struggles somewhat because he is still new to the mage profession, but he plans to master it within the limited time he has. He also plans to hide his ability to switch professions. As the school is under divine supervision and every student's actions are closely monitored, he wants to avoid becoming an early target of the gods. Meanwhile, Qian trains with only 1% elemental suppression, believing she can rival Inbai's strength. Our boy doesn't really want to interact with his classmates as he wants to protect them. After school, Specs and his friend catch up to Inbai and tell him to slow down. In his past life, the two were his best friends in middle school. Because all three were weak, they shared the same fate of being bullied. Having his weak friends around is the only happy time he experiences during middle school. Now that he is focused on revenge, our boy believes he no longer needs social interactions. To get away, he gets on his bicycle and rides off, leaving them behind. They cannot believe he runs off again, as they are supposed to be an unbreakable trio. Specs comments that their friend has completely changed since awakening and now seems confident. Moments later, they catch up to Inbai, who is waiting for them. He tells Specs to get his lungs checked when he has time. The two are happy that he finally stops, but he shatters their hopes again by commenting that they are too slow to keep up with him. He mounts his bike and rides away, leaving them stunned. In his past life, Specs is suddenly diagnosed with a lung disease and passes away shortly afterward. Our sweet boy wants his friend to stay alive and healthy even if they never become close friends again. While the other friend shouts at Inbai in anger, Specs believes he is still the same person despite his cold exterior. At the recruit training ground in the Shanghai Nation, a man remarks that he has heard about a new recruit who has been performing exceptionally well. He comments that the praise is flattering, especially for breaking so many records. The other man, Mr. Dongyang, then explains that he is there to formally report to him. That evening, when our guy returns home, he tells his mother to avoid going out alone. He assures her that he will return home early each day with groceries. He is worried because he knows the environment is not completely safe for her and that he must provide a better living situation. At the Awakener's prison, Lin Gong is already making a deal with one of the chefs. The chef promises him to help him get out. The next day, Tuesday, Inbai becomes familiar with how mages operate, realizing that casting time and precise calculation of elemental power are the key factors. Training continues the following day, and afterward, Specs and his friend invite Inbai to dinner. As expected, he bluntly refuses, saying he needs to return home early. However, he leaves them with advice, sharing a secret technique for archers. The archer rejoices after hearing it. By Thursday, Specs visits a clinic where the doctor tells him he is fortunate to have come in early. The doctor explains that a fast-growing parasitic tumor is developing in his lungs and advises him to schedule a surgery at a major hospital as soon as possible. Specs thanks him and promises to make an appointment. As he leaves, he recalls that Bai was the one who warned him about his lungs. He is left wondering how his friend knew something was wrong, deepening the mystery surrounding him. At that moment, he overhears a group discussing Hong. Hong has reached E-Class Level 4, and they believe he will be the best performer in the assessment. It is revealed that Hong's family owns a private labyrinth that Hong uses to level up as part of their private army. At this moment, one of them mentions something that catches Specs' attention. Hong is planning to teach Bai a lesson after school about what happened last weekend. They talk about how furious Hong is, and that he is even planning to kill Yi. Hong has armed himself with a weapon to become more dangerous. Hearing this, Specs realizes that his friend is in grave danger. Worried, Specs springs into action, deciding that helping his friend is the best thing he can do. He dashes through the school hallway, thinking about the reckless tricks Hong might attempt. Specs worries that Hong may have gathered his goons to gang up on Yi. He suddenly stops, realizing how useless he would be even if he tried to help. He considers backing down, but then remembers how Yi helped him. Specs heads to the school armory and breaks the lock to get inside. He struggles with the fact that he is breaking the rules, but cannot shake the thought that his friend saved him and he has to return the favor. He looks over the weapons on the rack and picks up a giant axe. Suddenly, he hears Chayan's voice behind him, asking why he is breaking into the armory. Specs tries to stay silent, but Chayan presses him, asking what is wrong since he looks rushed. The boy finally shouts that he needs to go save Yi's life. Meanwhile, Yi on the way back home notices that he is being followed. He reaches an alley and tells whoever it is to step out. Hong emerges holding a sword and looking menacing. He tells Yi that he is there to settle their score. Our guy turns with a pitiful expression and asks Hong if he truly thinks he has what it takes to defeat him. Hong replies confidently that he can take Yi down. He dashes forward using his skill Accelerate, claiming he has trained non-stop since the last incident. While accelerating, Hong activates another skill to appear behind Yi, but just before he can strike, our guy moves swiftly out of the way. Seizing an opening, he grabs Hong and smashes him into the ground. Hong gasps in pain, realizing that Yi's action power is far greater than his own. He cannot believe it is possible. Our guy tells him that he is not the only one who has been training. Yi pulls out his dagger and slams it into the ground beside Hong's head. Hong finally understands that Yi is far ahead of him in power and strength. Though they are the same age, Hong realizes that the figure before him is someone he can never surpass. Shocked, Hong yells at our guy and asks what level he is. He refuses to believe it and demands to know how Yi achieved it. Hong reveals that he underwent intense extra training just to reach level 4, which took immense effort. He cannot believe that Yi is still faster than him. Yi smiles when Hong mentions how hard he trained and calmly asks Hong if he has ever died before. With a knife at his throat, Hong tells our guy to either kill or torture him. He believes Yi has always looked down on him, and our guy admits that this is true. However, he says that he doesn't actually hate Hong that much. He admits that he is impressed that Hong followed him alone instead of ambushing him or bringing his friends. He understands that Hong only wanted to test his own strength. Hong screams at our guy to kill him now or risk being killed by him later. He doesn't want him to pretend that he understands him. Our guy pauses and then tells Hong that he takes back what he said about not hating him that much. Meanwhile, Specs and Chayan arrive nearby and hide as they observe the situation.
They are shocked to see that our hero handles everything without their help. Our boy then tells Hong that he has a deal for him. He explains that there is a way for Hong to become stronger, but in return, he must do something for him. The next day, Friday, arrives. It is assessment day. The teacher stands before the gathered students and announces that it is time for the combat simulation. He explains that although it is called a simulation, they will be entering a real labyrinth. While most of the labyrinth's power has been sealed, danger still exists. He urges the students to act within their capabilities as many dangerous monsters remain inside. To ensure safety, high school students are assigned as guides. These seniors will not fight, but they are expected to intervene if a situation becomes dangerous. Each team will consist of 4 to 5 students led by a senior. The students can choose between E-Class and F-Class dungeons. However, the E-Class dungeons are far more difficult, and the teacher warns them not to attempt one unless they are confident in their strength. He adds that failing the challenge will result in the loss of academic credits, emphasizing how serious the assessment is. After finishing the explanation, he tells the students to begin choosing their dungeon level. He asks those who wish to challenge the E-class dungeon to raise their hands. 8 students, including Chien and Hong, raise their hands. Specs is shocked that some students are bold enough to attempt such dangerous dungeons. He explains that the remaining students will be randomly assigned to F-class dungeons. Chien notices that Bi does not raise his hand. At that moment, our hero steps forward and tells the teacher that he wants to challenge the school's D-class Spirit Jade dungeon. The room falls into stunned silence. The teacher stares at our boy, speechless at the absurd request. The teacher quickly regains his composure and tells Bi that he must be joking, stating that no one challenges a D-class dungeon at the start. He immediately refuses the request. Just then, the dean of the junior high division steps forward. He explains that D-class dungeons are extremely dangerous and are normally reserved for high school students who have reached D-class or higher. Unfazed, Ye counters that the combat simulation rules allow students to choose their own difficulty level. He states that the school's goal is to find exceptional talent for the Divine Guild, and that talent is defined by both courage and strength. He then asks whether the dean truly intends to deny him the chance to prove those qualities. Cornered by our guy's reasoning, Dean Hong Liang relents slightly, but raises another issue. All dungeons must be entered as a team. Our guy immediately responds that he can do it alone. This angers the dean, who declares that solo entry is strictly forbidden by school rules to ensure student safety. As the situation reaches a stalemate, Chien raises her hand and confidently announces that she will also choose the D-class dungeon. Her expression is firm and resolute. Clearly agitated, Dean Hong Liang questions Chien's decision, asking if she has lost her mind and worrying how he would face her father if something happened to her. Chien refuses to back down, explaining that she wants the highest possible score and wishes to test her limits. She turns to Bi with a confident smile and offers to team up with him. To her shock, he bluntly refuses, saying that he plans to clear the dungeon alone. Before Chien can react to being rejected again, the teacher steps in and declares that his refusal is invalid and forces them to form a team. The teacher then raises another concern. With only 2 students attempting such a dangerous dungeon, it is unlikely that any senior students will volunteer to supervise them. Just as it seems the challenge cannot proceed, a hand rises from the group of seniors. A charismatic young man steps forward with a charming smile and declares that he will go. The teacher relaxes in relief and says that with him present, he can finally feel at ease. Standing beside our boy, Chien recognizes the senior and tells him that his name is Zheng. She adds that he almost joined the ultimate school team. As the senior approaches with a smirk, our guy wonders who this person is. When Zheng stops in front of him, our guy simply states that he has never heard of him. The comment amuses Zheng, who thinks to himself that Bi is nothing more than an ignorant peacock, eager to show off without understanding his own limits. With the final team ready, the teacher addresses all the students. He announces that the teams are assigned and the combat simulation is officially beginning. He explains that their progress inside the dungeons will be live-streamed by professional drones monitoring their every move. With a final word of encouragement, he urges them to do their best and see who achieves the highest score. As the students prepare to enter, our guy stares forward with intense determination. The Awakened Academy is built on the site of a massive conquered demon cave. Over time, this main cave creates many smaller, lower-level portals within the school grounds. Used by both the junior high and high school divisions, these dungeons with power levels mostly ranging from F-class to D-class serve as ideal training grounds. As students enter their respective portals, the combat simulation begins. Inside their portal, Bi, Chien, and their senior supervisor, Zheng, are followed by a drone. Our guy is aware that the simulation is being broadcast and that every one of his actions is recorded. He knows he must restrain himself and avoid revealing all his trump cards, especially when facing unknown dangers. Thinking of the gods who are watching, his reason for choosing this dungeon is clear. The Spirit Jade dungeon contains something he desperately needs. The team arrives in a dark forest, standing at the edge of a cliff. Zhang confidently steps between Bai and Qian, telling them not to worry because he will protect them. He boasts that he has experience clearing even unsealed D-class dungeons alongside powerful awakenings. As they move deeper into the forest, Qian asks Zhang how strong the monsters in a D-class dungeon are. He explains that their levels range from E5 to D5. However, since the school's dungeons have their strongest beasts sealed, it is unlikely they will encounter a true D-class monster, and there will be no boss. With a grin, he adds that they should not underestimate high-level E-class monsters, as their attack power and speed can be formidable. He reminds them that as new students, they are still considered weak. Zhang then turns to Qian and promises to find low-level monsters for them to farm points, assuring her that he will not let her get hurt. While speaking, he notices that Bai has already walked far ahead. Zhang pauses, puzzled by his behavior, and calls out to warn him not to run too far ahead in case he provokes a monster. Our guy stops and turns back, bluntly telling Zhang that he is being too noisy, leaving the senior speechless. With confidence, he tells the senior guy to stay back because his help will not be needed. Zhang and Qian can only stare as Bai continues forward, taking the lead. Back at the academy, large displays are set up for students and staff to watch the live streams, tracking the progress of each team inside the dungeons. The scene then moves to a private room where the ultimate campus vice captain is on a call. He urges the person on the other end, whom he calls Captain, to watch the broadcast, remarking that this year's simulation is unusually interesting. With a smirk, he mentions that a junior student has chosen to challenge a D-class dungeon.
A woman's voice responds, asking what profession the student awakened. The vice captain explains that this is the most fascinating part. The student is a nuclear warrior, one of the weakest professions. Intrigued by such reckless confidence, the mysterious captain says she wants to watch and see what gives the student such audacity. The scene then shifts to other student teams facing their own challenges. In a sealed F-class dungeon, Specs panics, screaming at the monsters to stay away. A senior supervising the team tells him not to be so tense, reminding him that his role is to provide buffs from a safe distance. Even so, Specs remains terrified, exclaiming that even the weakest F-class monsters are frightening. Meanwhile, in a sealed E-class dungeon, the danger is far greater. Teams face packs of fierce fangs, wolf-like beasts crackling with elemental energy. Hong's team struggles with several members injured and lying on the ground. Seeing his team in trouble, Hong declares that if they cannot handle it, he will take on the beasts himself. Driven by rivalry, he charges at a fierce fang, shouting that he will surpass Bai. Back in the D-class dungeon, our hero has just unleashed a powerful attack. He stands calmly, surrounded by the bloodied corpses of several fierce beasts. From a distance, Ziling and Qian watch in disbelief. Qian questions him about how he did such a thing all alone. Unfazed, our guy calmly explains to the girl that the monsters in this dungeon were sealed and possessed only half of their true power, which was why they were not too difficult to handle. Qian, still in awe, argues that even at half strength, he had fought many opponents at once. She admits that she is still a long way from reaching his level. Turning to face the next challenge, our guy advises her that comparing herself to others was pointless. With a calm and focused expression, he advises her to concentrate on improving herself instead. Amused by his blunt words, Qian smiles brightly, clutching her spellbook as she declares that she would do her best. Ziling, however, watches from the sidelines and gets jealous that this arrogant junior is stealing the spotlight. He steps forward, trying to reassert his authority by reminding Bai that this is a D-class dungeon and that he should not get overconfident. However, the senior acknowledges that his performance was impressive for a first-timer, but warns him that the dungeon contains 3 caverns and would not be so easy. He begins giving tactical instructions, but Yi interrupts, ordering Qi to deal with monsters on the right side and says that he will take care of the left side, leaving Ziling flustered and ignored. The team now stands in a large cavern littered with the corpses of defeated beasts, and ahead of them the path splits into 2 tunnels. As Bai ignores him and speaks directly to Qi-in, Ziling's frustration grows. Our main character asks Qi-in if she can handle the lower-level monsters on the right path. Sidelined, Ziling can only watch, seething at the junior's disrespect.
He explains that the purpose of the simulation is to test their individual abilities and that Chi Yin needs to prove her own strength. The girl declares that she understands and can handle it. With the plan set, our boy walks down the left path alone. Chi Yin and Ziling head towards the right. The senior's face twists with rage as he mutters a curse, deciding that if Bai won't learn the easy way, he will be taught the hard way. Back in the viewing room, teachers and students watch Bai's live feed in amazement. One viewer exclaims at how many beasts he has already defeated. A teacher asks what his current level is, and another replies that his official record still lists him as E1, though his real level is clearly higher. The group speculates that he must be at least E3, or perhaps even E4 by now. The teacher, who supervised his awakening ceremony, explains to his colleagues that Bai's decision to send Chi into the right tunnel is not random. He carefully observes the elemental matchups, sending the flower element user, Chi Yin, to face stellar element monsters, giving her a natural advantage. The teacher praises our hero's sharp judgment and impressive tactical awareness, especially under such high pressure. Remembering Yi's promise not to disappoint him, the teacher smiles with pride, realizing the boy wasn't boasting. He continues watching the screen with growing interest, wondering what else his student will reveal. Our smart boy, on the other hand, has already noticed that the stellar-type beasts mostly emerge from the right-hand cave. Knowing their lower-level enemies and that Chi Yin possesses the elemental advantage, he recognized it as the perfect challenge for her. Following her path, Chi Yin finds herself facing a massive beetle-like monster. The creature charges at her with ferocious force. Reacting instantly, she slams her hand into the ground and casts a spell, shouting "Vine Wall." Thick, torn-covered vines erupt from the earth, wrapping tightly around the monster and restraining it. Even though the spell succeeds, Chi Yin's face shows intense strain and determination as she prepares her next move. She screams for another surge of power. She commands the vines to constrict. They tighten violently around the beetle, crushing its shell, drawing blood, and triggering a deadly poison effect. Moments later, the creature collapses, defeated. The girl's face glows with pride as she exclaims that she has done it again. From the entrance of his own path, our guy watches her progress closely. He notes that mages, even at the E-class level, already possess their foundational class skills. In Chi Yin's case, it is the ability to form a poisonous plant barrier, Vine Wall. She remains calm while fighting monsters stronger than herself, and she shows solid tactical awareness by using her wall not only for defense, but to trap the enemy and reduce its movement. This clearly concludes that she has a natural talent. Satisfied that Chi Yin can handle her side, our boy shifts his full attention to the massive red seal at the end of his cavern. Flames of 5 different elements flicker around it, and he deduces that sealed D-class monsters lie beyond. With Chi Yin managing the monsters on her path, he is now free to focus on his own, far more dangerous objective. As our guy approaches the seal, he carefully considers his strategy. He is confident he can secure a high score while concealing his true strength, even with drones broadcasting his every move. Meanwhile, at the entrance of Chi Yin's path, Ziling is angry. He cannot tolerate how these juniors completely ignore his authority. The weird guy decides to punish his juniors for being overconfident. In an instant, he appears behind Chi Yin. Drawing his golden bow, he deliberately aims not at a monster, but at the ground in front of her. He decides they should try something new and releases a brilliant arrow of light. The arrow slams into the earth with high dust force, narrowly missing Chi Yin, but blasting open a deep pit. She faces towards the guy, confused by the sudden attack. The weird senior guy feigns innocence, casually asking why she dodged, claiming he was only trying to help by playing a buff. The next thing they witness is that a ferocious two-headed lion bursts from the pit, charging at her with terrifying speed. As he turns back, Bai sees the two-faced lion engulfed in flames, letting out a roar while she is right in front of it as it is about to attack her. She knows that she's screwed and there's no way out. Meanwhile, Ziling scoffs in pride.
Suddenly, our boy uses his scale swiftness, which increases his speed by 50% and manages to run right in front of the lion before she can be attacked by the two-faced lion. As the monster staggers, our guy wonders how the monster is so speedy. Ziling thinks to himself that he is well aware of the labyrinth. Even when most of the D-class monsters have been sealed, this ignored two-headed main lion keeps respawning in the cave. So no matter what they do to defend themselves, these newly awakened recruits can't battle against a D-class monster.
Zealing has also enhanced the skill of one of the lion's heads. It has the ability to take damage, and its speed has been drastically increased as well, making it the fastest double-headed lion. The double-headed lion goes into berserk mode, making our hero wonder if he has to use his full strength. He urges Susan to fall back as she can't handle the monster in this state. Even Bei is fearful for his life for a moment. The double-headed lion then jumps and leaps toward them. Seeing the lion coming at them, Shan uses her skill and forms a vine wall, which grips the lion. Instantly, she forms another layer and then another, completely halting the lion's movement toward them. She then asks him to let her help and says she won't be an obstacle for him. Despite it being D-class, she wants to help him defeat the monster. When Zealing hears her, he wonders if she is even in her right mind because she was just about to be gobbled down alive by the monster. Meanwhile, Argai thinks that she would have been in shock and completely senseless, but she manages to snap out of it really quickly. She immediately utters that she worked hard for a moment like this, so she won't let the battlefield rattle her like that. She then looks at him, confident that she knows she won't die here with him around her. He turns back and tells her that she used up 3 layers of her skill at once, and that her elemental power is sort of limited, so he urges her not to waste her elemental power anymore. She agrees with him. In the hero's past life, Shan was a bright student in middle school, with her dream being to enter the Divine Guild and become a divine officer. She used to be a confident, optimistic, and generous young woman. He had also heard that she had a powerful family background, but despite that power, she was still very kind to everyone. Because of her serious and responsible attributes, she became the class president in middle school. After that, he lost contact with her and assumed that she went on to live a normal life filled with peace. For this moment, Shan is someone Bei can put his faith in, so as long as nothing happens, he should be able to clear this test while concealing his actual level of strength. Meanwhile, Zealing mocks them, wondering if they both think that the two of them are enough, as he knows that the vine wall won't be holding the monster for more than just a few more seconds. He tries to diminish their confidence, saying that real combat can't be won with confidence alone. Zealing assumes that regardless of their level of strength, they can never deal with a D-rank beast that has enhanced skills. He is sure that the two of them will soon give up and start begging for their lives when they have no choice but to ask him to help them. This is how he will teach them what it means to respect their elders. After that, the double-headed lion manages to break through the vine wall and begins to reach toward them. Argai puts Shan in behind her, telling her that he will lay the lion and it is a nucleament element, so she will need to know when the right time to act is. She confirms that she understands him, and then, instantly, as the double-headed lion leaps toward them, they both jump out of the way in opposite directions. The lion begins to follow our hero because he recently dealt him some damage, so the lion prioritizes the protagonist as the main target. The D-rank lion begins to chase our boy, and our boy instantly jumps into the water, but the lion follows him while our boy uses his swiftness skill, ordering Shan to use her vine wall to capture the lion. As the lion is completely gripped by the vine wall, it roars and tries to break free, but Shan constricts it even more, to the point that the berserk level of the monster is disabled and it is unable to break free while slowly being poisoned by the vine. Then, our boy confidently affirms that the monster cannot break free, and both of them decide to finish the test to get the highest score. Zealing is unable to believe that just a single layer of vine was able to constrict a double-headed beast, which even he didn't expect to happen, especially after he enhanced the lion's skill set. He is furious, cursing the duo, knowing that a nucleament lion can't use its skills when it is lured into water, but the abilities of the flora element get stronger when they are in water. So, using the simplest of elemental counters with good teamwork, the duo was easily able to get rid of a monster of a higher level than themselves. Our boy's spot-on reaction time and leadership skills are remarkable, making the entire crowd confident that he is the one who will take first place in the simulation, knowing that the final blow is left to be given to completely kill the lion. All of them are sure that he's going to get the highest score in history when the entire recording is given to the guild for review. Suddenly, the live feed is cut off at a crucial time. It is Zealing who cuts it off because he knows that without any video evidence, the hero can't get the highest score. Meanwhile, Argai and Shan are glad that their teamwork was able to get them out of such a situation, but our hero gives the credit to Shan because she is well trained in her elemental resistance, to the point that she could use a single ability in multiple ways to completely get a hold of the monster.
Hearing that, she is pretty surprised. Just as they are about to escape, Zeeling shows up angrily, urging them to keep their formalities aside for when they leave, because he has had enough of them. The hero confronts him, saying that Zeeling was definitely aware of what the consequences would be to put a D-rank monster on students entering the labyrinth for the first time. Zeeling turns and repeats what he said earlier. He wanted to buff the girl, and nobody told her to dodge it. Our hero throws a sharp mock at him, saying that Zeeling's skills must be terrible as an archer if that was the best aim he could give. Sean joins in, saying that surely there was a reason he couldn't get into the elite squad school. Upon hearing such insulting facts about himself, he angrily turns back to attack our guy, but noticing the protagonist's aura makes him lose confidence within himself, and he assures that he will take revenge later on. As he walks away, the two of them realize that the senior actually has an incel personality.
While our boy is on his knees, she wonders what he is up to. He is holding the broken camera, realizing the senior broke it, so the duo's high score couldn't be recorded. But he knows that the senior will need to get an entrance permit to get back in once he leaves, since the other groups have a distance to cover to reach the labyrinth. This provides him with much time. Our boy smiles, knowing that the senior, in an attempt to sabotage him, actually did him a favor. So now he will do what he had to do. Hearing him, Chien is a bit shaken, inquiring what he plans to do. A while later, a huge red portal shows up, and our boy stands in front of it. He asks her to keep a promise to not tell anyone what happens next, but he is aware that even if she tells anyone, nobody would really take her word for it. That makes her even more worried, wondering what he is even plotting. He is drawn into a flashback where he was asking for something in return, informing her that the seal-breaking stone is with his uncle. Our guy explains to her that he will be taking the Spirit Jade Labyrinth and then unsealing it. That news comes as a shock to her, and she yells at him to stop, because the labyrinth is holding in D-class beasts, and if he breaks the seal, the high-level beasts will rush out and spread around. He doesn't care what she has to say, yet assures her that their power is affected by the seal. She is still worried because the two of them can't take so many D-class monsters right away, but he calmly once again assures her that it won't be the two of them. It will only be him, and he will be alone enough. Suddenly, he begins to radiate a massive amount of aura, which completely shakes her. She could not believe her eyes as she realizes that he is also a mage. Our guy asks her to stay by the exit while the D-rank monsters start jumping out of the broken seal. Seeing the monsters leap toward him, she becomes worried and yells at him to look out for himself. Instantly, he switches to a cloud element mage and uses his skill, Flash Freeze. Chien is utterly shocked when she sees our boy using a red quality profession. She knows that it was tough for her to even control just a single lion, yet our guy managed to control 3 of them at once, freezing them in place. However, our guy is smart. He knew that these monsters had been shut in for so long that they would immediately rush out all at once the moment they saw an opening. Then he lets her know that he needs a bigger area, and she abides. After that, some D-rank monster leopards begin to rush out and leap toward the hero. He knows that these monsters have had their powers drastically weakened by half from being sealed for so long, despite being D-class monsters. He uses his mage skill, Flash Freeze, which generates ice from thin air, freezing the enemies. The first step is always to control these monsters. Then, Bai senses energy behind him. He turns back to see a fire saber-toothed D-class monster chasing after him, so he instantly begins to switch to a nuclear warrior. It is an attempt to sneak up on him, but he is ready to face it. So he switches back to a cloud element mage and freezes this monster as well. Chien is left with her jaw on the floor, as she did not expect him to switch his professions within the blink of an eye. Now, when she sees him moving, it becomes clear why he wanted to go to the element room. The reason being to train elemental resistance. She knows that the basics of a mage is to directly use energy in the form of natural forces or to manipulate objects of the same element within a certain range. Previously, she used to think that the stronger one's magic power was, the more times one could cast a spell directly proportional to their overall strength. Since elemental power comes from nature, it is known to be wild, primitive, and difficult to tame. But as she watches him, she can easily tell that control of the enemy's power is far more crucial than control of one's own. This leads her to the realization that only by completely controlling elemental power can they figure out multiple variations of their moves, turning one basic move into a resource capable of containing multiple variations. Seeing him fight the monsters with such precision, she finally realizes that our boy has already achieved that level of strength through mastery. Chien stands there surrounded by the realization that all of them were left behind a while ago, while her eyes glimmer as she looks at him thinking about how cool he is. After that, a spirit Jade Labyrinth Lord walks out, named Hell Mammoth. However, its attributes are reduced by half as well. When our boy sees the Lord step out, it seems like he had been waiting for it to appear and face him. Instantly, the Lord lets out a roar on seeing the other monsters frozen. It leaps toward Bai Yi, and he rapidly switches to Nuclear Warrior, landing a critical hit on the mammoth. As our boy stands after the attack, he thinks that being sealed reduced the mammoth's strength to half, which is no match even for a level 10 monkey. Despite taking a crucial hit to the head, the mammoth still has it in him to fight the threat and once again rushes in our boy's direction. Our guy jumps from his spot and begins to land multiple critical hits on the mammoth. The mammoth is now visibly weakened, and our guy switches to Sanctuary, activating the title 1 against 100. The mammoth's tusks are cut off, making it let out a painful yell. While the other monsters have already been successfully killed, the mammoth soon joins them and is defeated as well. Our guy's system informs him that he has obtained Fierce Bones points and a high-grade material, King's Fang, which glows as he holds it in his hand. It is absorbed into his body, and the next thing he gains is Resonant King Stones, which makes him happy as he has always wanted to achieve that. Our guy ends up gaining an attribute point bonus, with his Cloud Element Mage level increasing to 11 and his Nuclear Warrior level increasing to 13. He sees that the Mage class is also D class. His title, 1 against 100, has been upgraded to One-Man Army, and when he faces all his opponents alone, his attributes will be increased. Chien stands there silently as our boy approaches her and asks if she remembers what he told her before. She has also been upgraded to Flora Element Mage level 7, making her an E class. Meanwhile, behind the screens, everyone panics at the sudden surge of energy fluctuation that has been detected, knowing they'd be set for disaster if the seal actually ended up breaking. They instantly rush in, regretting that they should have left someone to guard it. The senior walks in, which surprises them, because he should be in there protecting the underclassmen. However, they all pass by him, knowing that if they don't reach it in time, there could be a huge disaster. The senior is shaken when he hears that the seal is broken, but deep down, he's happy, thinking that karma has finally caught up to our guy. As the others rush inside, they call out for Bai Yi and Xian. The teachers are surprised and relieved to see the duo unscathed, and our boy inquires why the teacher is inside.
The teacher looks at the seal and finds that it is still intact, which astonishes him. This makes them think that the machine reported an error once again. Later on May 29th, the vice captain is approached by the senior, who questions whether the materials he submitted were sufficient for the last spot on the team. The vice captain winks as he apologizes, saying that someone else has already been chosen by the captain. This news comes crashing down on our guy, making him wonder who has been chosen since the spot would have been kept open for the most valuable person. He wonders if his skills and background are not good enough, only for Anil to say that they have already found the most valuable person, and it is none other than Bai Yi. In the evening of the same day, Chen Jin-woo, an inspection team investigator, urges the guy sitting with him not to cause any more trouble, as he has gone through quite a lot to get him out early. The man chomps down on noodles, affirming this. Then Chen Jin-woo breaks the news that Captain Hong is arriving next Friday, wondering if he is aware of the things he has to carry out. Suddenly his phone rings and he is annoyed by the caller calling him again. He informs the caller that he will be heading back to the unit first and urges the guy to get home early too. Chen Jin-woo walks away while the guy sarcastically repeats what he said before leaving. The man has an evil look on his face, and he doesn't abide by what Chen Jin-woo told him to do. The man is none other than Bing Sheng, the protagonist's father. Instead, he goes to the hero's home where he angrily yells at the absence of the two of them. Out of fury, he breaks a stew because they successfully managed to hide something from him. He punches the glass with the aim in his mind that he will make sure Bai Yi regrets it. On the other hand, he hands over the resonant jade to his mom, giving her half of it. He asks her to keep it on her at all times, just like he keeps his half around his neck. He informs her that if she is ever in danger, she only needs to crush this jade, and his jade will sense it, and he will appear by her side right away. Without this jade, he cannot feel at ease leaving her alone. Previously, as much as he remembers, he had never seen his mother receive any sort of necklace or jewelry, which directly implies that she has never had anything a woman should be able to enjoy. She urges him not to worry about her all weekend and tells him that he should be hanging out with his friends more often at this age. He smiles and tells her not to worry because he doesn't need to do that. She gets even more worried, wondering how one cannot even need friends because he needs to have people who are important to him. His mind instantly diverts to the most important people to him, but he is not sure if he will be able to meet them in this life ever. At almost 12 a.m., he goes to the wild D-class labyrinth, since he doesn't have to worry about the jade issue anymore. He feels relieved. The labyrinth he is visiting right now is a hidden labyrinth, and it only opens for a while at midnight and closes at 1 a.m., so he knows that time is essential. Right now, he has to focus on improving himself as he walks deep into the labyrinth. In his last life, he had already become a top-tier warrior. Then he faces a wild orchid of D-class, along with a blood-devouring flower. He thinks about his past life, where he could only watch miserably as his mates die right in front of his eyes. Then he attacks the blood-devouring flower and with one slash ends up killing it. He gains an item called Blood Petal. He thinks about what his mother said earlier about having friends, but he sees no point in having friends because they will come to a time when the gods act on a whim and they will all still die in a horrendous way. Then he follows up by attacking the second monster and hits it with a critical blow to the head, aiming to become stronger. He successfully slays the wild orchid, knowing that he still has to work on his speed and get faster. He fights continuously in the labyrinth, knowing that he has to get stronger than everyone else. With a deadly look on his face, he aims to fight with everything he has. Right now, he knows that he isn't powerful enough to take that man down alone, so there's no chance that he can beat a genius who has been a golden archer since childhood. That is why he won't be taking any shortcuts in his life and decides to face all enemies to become stronger, faster, and better. He walks deeper into the labyrinth using his blade and his skill Sanctuary, successfully killing multiple blood-devouring flowers and wild corpse orchids, gaining multiple points, which his system informs him. His aura is radiating wildly. In the next 20 minutes, the entrance of the labyrinth will be closed, so he needs to finish taking care of the Lord quickly enough. At 12:39 a.m., he walks in front of the Lord while the Lord talks to him, telling him that it is his joint, which confuses our boy. But before our hero can do anything, the Lord instantly moves from the top of the tree to behind him. The Lord is a level 20 D-class Lord named Yao Ming. As Yao Ming is about to attack him with his fist, our boy uses his blade and cuts off his arm. But the Lord isn't scared because his hand instantly self-heals due to his skill within seconds. Seeing that skill, our boy is shaken by the strong healing capabilities that Yao Ming possesses. Then Yao Ming slams his fist on the ground. Our boy looks around and once again finds the same monsters he previously finished off. He can't understand how these monsters are reviving and leaping towards him. He is confused about how a D-class Lord has the ability to resurrect the others. Suddenly, something pierces him from the back, and when he turns to see what it is, it turns out that Yao Ming's twin brother, Tai Wu Ming, has stabbed him from behind, while he was distracted dealing with the other Lord and the monsters. He didn't expect two Lords together to completely surround him. The clock hits 1 a.m. and the labyrinth entrance closes while it rains heavily. At around 6 p.m., his mother gets worried that she hasn't seen her son for another day. She has left a couple of messages, but he hasn't responded to any of them, and his phone is unreachable. She realizes that he must have gone to a dangerous place once again like last time, and begins to walk outside to find him. Danger lurks around her when Bing Sheng begins to follow her while being drunk, as it is still raining heavily with a thunderstorm. He is angered that the two of them rented a different place while he wasn't around, thinking that they wanted to enjoy themselves.
He finds the apartment bougie, looks at the building, and drops his bottle of alcohol. The moment his mother steps out of the building, she locks eyes with Bing Sheng and realizes that she is now completely screwed. Meanwhile, our boy feels exhausted after the fifth wave of monsters gets revived, even after he kills them.
They get back up as if they were never killed before. They begin to attack him once again, but he uses his blade to cut them down. Still, he knows that repeatedly killing the same monsters that keep reviving won't grant him any more experience or items, and he needs to find the source of the constant resurrection. He knows that he has to take care of the lords because it is not just the small monsters that have regenerative powers by themselves. It is granted to them by the lords. So he reaches out to attack one of the lords and hits him with multiple critical strikes. Still, that is of no use because it can heal in an instant no matter how much he hits it. Even if he cuts off their heads, they heal themselves right away. He now feels like giving up because there is almost no way out since the monsters keep reviving and healing their injured allies. He knows that even an S rank or a high-level healer is unable to reach this level, making him wonder what is making these lords so strong, or whether there is a place that stores a massive amount of healing energy. Not only that, but when the lord begins to attack our boy, he notices that the lord has started to learn his moves right away as they fight. Meanwhile, the lord can't help but acknowledge that our boy is pretty strong. Suddenly, he finds the place that has been strengthening the lords and the monsters continuously. It is a flora element labyrinth, and the giant tree he finds is the source of its energy. Instantly, Bai Yi starts rushing toward it, knowing that the lords are only healing because of the large-scale power that the tree is supplying. When the lord notices that our boy is aiming for the tree, he screams for him to stop, but our guy manages to flash freeze them on the spot and then switches to nuclear warrior. He slashes his blade at the lords and realizes he was right. Killing the tree helped him kill one of the lords since it couldn't heal or revive itself again. He ends up gaining multiple items, including spirit grass, which helps in healing. Bai Yi turns to the second lord, points his blades toward him, and prepares to attack. The lord switches tactics and begs the protagonist to kill him. That surprises him, making him wonder if the lord has lost his will to live since his brother has been defeated and killed. If that is the case, our guy wants to reunite the lord with his twin brother and then kill him too. As a reward, he gains a poison thorn, which is used to make a poison piercer. His system then informs him that he is leveled up to level 15 in Nuclear Warrior, and his Cloud Element Mage is leveled up to 13. Additionally, he has also gained stat bonuses. As he killed the bosses, the cave entrance opened again. His system notifies him that the Flora element has reached its full potential, and he is about to awaken a new class. Bai Yi is surprised to see the Flora element being maxed out. Now he wonders by himself what kind of class he will be getting this time. Suddenly, he is surrounded by a floral aura, with his system informing him that he has successfully obtained it. Previously, he got a red-colored class, and he had been wondering what he was going to get this time. But he is disappointed to get a blue-colored class, which indicates that he is an E-level Flora Element Summoner. He assures himself that the Summoner class doesn't have very high requirements, making him wonder about the main skills. His system displays that he gets a Floral Spirit contract and a passive skill named Flowerbed. He taps on the Floral contract, which instantly makes him realize that the two lords he just slayed can serve the right purpose. Bai Yi goes to their spirits and activates the Floral Spirit contract. After that, he tells the souls to come toward him, and they abide by him. As Beeling stands outside our hero's house, his phone suddenly starts ringing and he's annoyed, wondering who's calling him so late. He answers the call and finds out that it's Officer Chen, who asks him to get into Chef Hong's banquet. Bin Sheng promises to do his best to prepare a gift and assures his boss that he will not waste the opportunity to return to the guild. He hangs up the phone and decides to catch up with his sister after a good day. Meanwhile, our hero's mother stands outside in the rain waiting for him. He sees her standing and takes her back inside. Bai Yi's mom stares at her bracelet, thinking about how her son got her a Mother's Day gift without even her saying a word. She can't speak,
but she knows everything about her son. Our hero lies in his room thinking about the three classes: a green-colored warrior, a blue-colored summoner, and a red-colored mage. 2 combat classes have already reached D class. Our hero stares at his class stats, with only the blue summoner being at E class. With 2 of his classes at Dank, our hero believes that it's still not enough. His opponent was imprisoned on the 21st, and it's been days now. Although he has 5 more days until release, our hero knows that his opponent will likely bribe a guard and get out more likely, and that's why he prepared the artifacts just in case. The next morning, Bai stands at the gate, knowing that hiding won't solve his problem. He decides to resolve the matter before the training pilgrimage. Our hero continues clearing the D-class hidden labyrinths until Sunday afternoon. He refuses to stand idle and works hard to raise his level to C class as soon as possible. He enters another dungeon and clears it through until Sunday night. After conquering labyrinths all day, our hero gets a level up notification, and the system shows that he has unlocked a new title, Lone Wolf Hero. By conquering a labyrinth of a level the same as his 10 times by himself, our hero has obtained a hero's key. The system shows that after fulfilling certain conditions, he can unlock the Warrior's Tower. The next morning, at the Academy of the Awakened Junior High Division, the teacher excitedly announces the assessment results to her students. She announces that Bai and Chi Yin have taken the 1st and 2nd places in the entire school. Bai's recording was sent to headquarters for careful analysis, and it was rated as the highest score in history. So Bai and Chi Yin have earned the qualification for the training pilgrimage, and thanks to our hero's performance, they also get to meet the Divine Clan. All the students in the class are amazed with the reward, because not even a divine officer is guaranteed to have an audience with the Divine Clan. Our hero loves that he'll be directly able to meet the clan. His classmates beg him to not forget them once he succeeds, while the other classmate feels proud of his win. Meanwhile, in the dean's office, the dean asks Hong Chang if he's sure about not going with the winners, because his father came back after quite difficulties and he could use the excuse of going to the headquarters to tag along on the training pilgrimage.
However, the student stands firm on his values that he only got 3rd place and he doesn't deserve to go, and he doesn't want people to think that he relies on his father for everything. The dean is impressed by Hong Chang's values and wishes that his father saw his growth. The student then asks the dean for his help in gaining access to the sealed D-class labyrinth on the back mountain so that he could get stronger. On the other hand, the senior guy feels entitled to go to the training pilgrimage because he's the sole heir of the Z family. Academy Principal Zun King asks his nephew why he would act so impulsively and do what he did on the combat test. Principal Z asks his nephew why he would strengthen a monster to backstab with junior students. He hits the table in anger and asks if he really thought the people in charge were so stupid that they wouldn't see his tricks. If it wasn't for Z, his nephew would have been expelled from the school. Seeing the principal's anger, the senior falls on his knees and starts begging for forgiveness. But then Principal Z orders him to stand up and tells him that because of his actions, the higher-ups noticed Bai Yi and they feel that something isn't right about him. The principal tells the senior that the people in charge feel that there's something off about our hero. His growth seems too unreasonable, which is why someone from the Divine Clan wants to meet him in person. The senior gets the permission to go to the training pilgrimage, but on the condition that he has to drop his temper and act more humble, otherwise the principal won't be able to protect him. He gets hyped for the training pilgrimage and can't wait to get his hands on Bai Yi and Healy. Meanwhile, in the classroom, our hero's classmate stares at an invitation letter from the elite school squad. His eyes pop out in shock, seeing the strongest squad in the academy inviting our hero. Joining the elite school squad means that our hero gets to directly join the Divine Guild without an exam. It was founded by the academy's only golden assassin in recent years, and everyone was desperate to join. The elite school squad is a high school division squad, so everyone's shocked that they're inviting a junior high student. The classmates are amazed, but our hero casually grabs the invite and throws it in the dustbin. Everyone's shocked that Bai Yi is just going to reject the elite school squad, and he tells them he's leaving first. The classmate feels upset that Bai Yi passed on such a great opportunity, but his friend tells him that they already know that our hero will only be a leader. Our hero visits the school's back mountain, where he has access to the D-class labyrinth without anyone disturbing him. He tries to tell his friend to try the other dungeon first, because D-class must be too difficult for him, but he insists on fighting. Our protagonist promised to show him practical combat skills and a way to get stronger quickly, on the condition that he'd get our hero's access to the school's labyrinth. However, he didn't expect to get access to all of the D-class ones. As our hero casually slays the monsters, his partner gets crushed by them. He offers to help, but his friend insists on fighting by himself. Bai Yi hasn't yet met the conditions to unlock the Tower of Heroes, which is why he can't enter it yet. The condition is to reach a B class, while our hero is still at D class. He has cleared pretty much all the wild labyrinths he could find, and the ones at school are his only hope of leveling up. The higher our hero's class level goes, the more experience he needs to level up. After reaching D class, his level progression slows down significantly. He continues fighting in the labyrinth day after day. The monster jumps at Hong Chong, and when he saves him, Chong Shan gets upset for interfering. However, if our hero hadn't jumped in, he would have been crushed. Luckily, the school labyrinths are enough experience to level up. On Thursday, Hong Chong sang Cheers Up after leveling up to D class. He leaves the labyrinth feeling satisfied about having entered the labyrinth on his own instead of doing it with his bodyguards. Our hero leaves after leveling up to C class and obtains a new skill. In his current stats, he feels confident in dealing with his opponent. Bai Yi returns home at night and his mother asks if he's been dating some girl the past 2 days, but when he denies it, she wonders if he's messing around with his friends because he's always coming home late. Our hero denies it, and his mother tells him that it's okay to have a girl he likes and he should be brave about pursuing someone he cares about. All of a sudden, our hero is caught off guard, remembering the only girl he cared about. He's thrown into flashbacks of Healy teasing him and asking for hugs while he constantly pushes her away. After a disastrous battle, she lies injured on the ground and asks him to carry her. Our hero gets shy and tells her to walk after Huo heals her injuries. In his past life, our protagonist met after his master rescued him from death row. He met her in the capital city of the Shanghai nation. He doesn't know where she would be now, but he feels sad because he thinks it'll be near impossible to meet her again in this life. However, our hero only has the memories of his past life, so even if he met Healy, there won't be any connection between them. Meanwhile, Hilo receives a text from her vice captain that Bai Yi still hasn't responded to their invite. His constant ignorance draws more of her attention, and Hilo decides to personally deliver the invite. On his birthday, Bai Yi gives him a present. He opens the box and reads the card wishing him happiness and success. However, the scarf catches him by surprise because the summer is almost here. A realization hits him, and he asks his mother if she knew that he was going to the Shanghai nation. His mother tells him that the temperature there is different between day and night, and he should take care of himself. She assures him that she will take care of herself too. Our hero is surprised that she knew all along. His mother gives him some money and tells him to treat his friends to a meal to celebrate his birthday, but he reminds her that he doesn't have any friends. Meanwhile, at the school, our hero is confused looking at a statue of a girl. His friend feels excited to be giving him the shiny model as a gift. Right then, his other friend walks in claiming that his present is cooler. He puts down a box of something impossible to get these days. Our hero is shocked as he realizes it's the tape of his favorite movie, The Prestige. In his past life, Bai Yi and his friend would often go into the sheds to secretly watch banned prehistoric movies. His friend tells him to keep the tape hidden from the teachers. Our hero puts it down and thanks him. Right then, Qian walks in and wishes him a happy birthday. Everyone's jaws drop in shock as she puts down the A-rank mage weapon Phantasm gem. However, our hero politely refuses to accept the present because it's too valuable. Qian tells him that she wouldn't have been able to participate in the training pilgrimage without him, and these gems aren't that precious for her family anyway, and it would be helpful for him. Our protagonist is left speechless.
He knows that he has no reason to refuse because he needs to improve, and wonders if Qian gave him this present because she saw him using the lowest level weapon after switching classes. Bei gets emotional as he realizes that his classmates remembered his birthday and prepared gifts for him so thoughtfully.
The two guys start whispering to each other about how they both got so close and get startled when Shion interrupts them. Our hero was planning on leaving the academy, and he doesn't want to form any bonds with his friends, but for now, he offers to treat them to dinner. Hearing that our hero is going to treat them to dinner, his friends jump in excitement. Suddenly, someone mentions some guys from high school visiting their faculty. They wonder why they're headed towards their class, and someone mentions that it's the captain of the elite school squad. They haven't ever seen her, but they've heard that she's a great beauty, and there have been rumors of the captain personally coming to invite Bae to the squad. Our hero sighs and decides that he should just refuse in person. He walks out of the classroom to give everyone a good show of his power. The whole school gathers around, and the senior feels envious of our hero getting all the attention from the elite school squad. As our protagonist stands in the hallway, the lights start to flicker and the electricity buzzes everywhere. The wave of electricity courses through the class, heading straight for our hero as he stands unafraid. It closes in on him, but he remains unfazed, knowing that it's just a feint. He summons his dagger, observes for a moment, and sees the attacker going to the left rear. He quickly turns around and blocks the attack with his dagger. The spectators remain confused, not knowing what just happened. As the electricity takes shape and Hilu reveals herself feeling proud of her choice after seeing his quick reaction, our hero is shocked. Bae stands shocked, seeing Hilu standing before him. The memories of her asking for a hug and asking him to carry her run through his mind. The images of him leaving her to Hul to heal flash before his eyes. Hilu tells him that she came to visit in person because he never responded to her invites. Our hero's friends gossip that him rejecting the captain would be embarrassing. Hilu proceeds to introduce herself, but suddenly, our hero instantly hugs her and everyone's jaws drop to the ground in shock. Bae's friends are shocked to see our hero hug the captain of the elite school squad and think it's some kind of age gap romance. However, Hila isn't old, she was in the same grade as them, but because she awakened soon at the start of her first year in junior high, she skipped grades and entered high school early. Hila zaps our hero and teleports him. She asks our hero if his hug means he accepts her invitation. She adds that the elite school squad is fully funded by the school and has the best resources. They have many ways to get stronger faster than grinding the school dungeons, and they might fight side by side. However, our protagonist refuses to join her squad and tells her that he's going to leave soon, so there's no point in joining a school club. He extends his hand forward and tells Hilu that he's going to establish his own guild, and when that time comes, they can fight side by side. Right then, the vice president hurries in and calls Hile to gather the whole squad to greet Captain Hong on the principal's orders. Hilu tells our hero that they'll see each other on the training pilgrimage, and they can talk about his long-time no. Then, after the captain of the elite school squad leaves, everyone starts gossiping about how our hero rejected her personal invite to join her squad and instead invited her to his own guild. They think he's just bragging about starting his own guild because he's not even an adult, and it costs a lot of money. However, they know that Bae got the highest score in the history of junior high assessment, but they find it even crazier that he hugged Hilu, and she didn't even refuse. Meanwhile, our hero thinks about how he never imagined meeting Hilu like this. Everyone in the Divine Guild kept their pasts confidential, so no one knew anything about each other's histories. So, Bae never thought he and Hilu would be in the same middle school, and it almost made him miss this reunion. Our hero takes this reunion with his old friend as a birthday surprise. Our hero's friends argue about who chose barbecue, but one of them reveals that our hero wanted to eat barbecue, so he just recommended the place. Jian asks Bae if he was serious about wanting to establish a guild and leave this place soon. Our hero tells his friends that he's going to stay in the Shanghai Nation after the training pilgrimage. Everyone is shocked, thinking that he's dropping out of school to start a business, but Bae tells them he just wants to go to the Shanghai Nation's Divine Soldier Academy. Meanwhile, at the Kaiban Hotel, the Divine Guild Chief Hong enters the hotel. His assistant is shocked to see Bi Ling Xian when he's supposed to be locked up for 15 days. He wonders when their member got out so early, and Chen Jinwu explains that Bi Shen just paid double the bail money and it was approved by the captain, while the vice captain turned a blind eye. Ayan gets angry and asks why Bi Shen was allowed to enter the chief's party.
Chen Jinwoo explains that he was kicked out of the guild for a small matter and he brought everything he owned to rejoin, so they just did him a favor. Bishan approaches the chief with a bag of expensive magic crystals. Chief Hong throws all his crystals away and asks who let him in. Bishan stands trembling, and the chief gets angry that an outsider might get in and leak out military secrets. Bi-Ling gathers his crystals and tries to explain his situation. The chief grabs him by the collar and asks what made him think that he could buy a position in the guild. He orders the intruder to take all his trash and get out. Chief Hong kicks his ex-employee out like a dog and forbids anyone from letting him back into the guild. Bi-Ling gets angry at his old boss for kicking him out and starts cursing him. Feeling humiliated for being looked down upon, he breaks the crystals with his fists. He walks through the streets cursing the chief for humiliating him and decides to kill everyone for going against him. Bi-Ling stands outside our hero's house when suddenly his mother walks out to throw the trash. Meanwhile, at Old Wong's barbecue shop, a group of people walk past our hero. His friends notice that they're Divine Guild members and tell him that he could be colleagues or even their superior if he gets into the Divine Miracle Academy. One of the friends feels upset that the birthday treat is turned into a farewell dinner, but Xian decides to work hard and rejoin our hero at the academy. However, seeing how smoothly everything is going, our hero feels that something is off. His friends suggest ignoring everything and advise everyone to enjoy the birthday.
They all share a toast and wish our hero a happy birthday. Meanwhile, Bai's mother holds on to her son's necklace as she faces danger. Bing Sheng, burning up in anger, threatens her for living a comfortable life. He threatens to remind her of her real home and gets ready to attack. The bracelet on the mother's arm catches Bing Sheng's attention. He wonders where she gets all this stuff from and starts laughing with a sudden realization, thinking that she affords it all with her charm. He swings his punch to attack her, and suddenly her bracelet starts glowing and someone grabs Bing Sheng's hand. Our hero's D-class beasts Yao Wuming and Qi Wuming cover his mother and assure her that they will protect her. The mother is left surprised, realizing that it's Bai's bracelet. She starts remembering the moment our hero got her the bracelet and told her to wear it at all times in his absence. Qi Wuming attacks Ling, but he dodges. They exchange a few blows and push the attacker back. Ling Sheng grins in happiness at finally having something to take his anger out on. Meanwhile, our hero gives in to his instinct and tells his friends he has something to take care of. He gets up and leaves, promising that he'll return. He calls Chang to ask about the info he wanted. Chang telling Bai that Ling got an early release from the prison and went straight to Chief Hong's banquet. However, he was kicked out of the banquet and Ling Sheng tracked him after leaving the Kaibin Hotel. Hearing about this, our protagonist starts worrying about his mother. He calls her, but her video call doesn't connect. At first, he thinks his mom just doesn't have the phone with her, but then he realizes that the hotel is near his apartment, and if Ling Sheng ran into his mom, she would definitely be in danger. So, our hero hangs up the phone, takes his bike, and heads straight home to protect his mom. Our protagonist hurries back home. Although he left the Wuming brothers to protect his mom, he worries that they are still too low level to hold out against Ziling. Bing stands above Qi Wuming, crushing him under his feet. Yao Wuming tells his master to stand back while he shields her. Ling turns to the other fighter, but Si grabs him by his leg. Ling grabs the Si's throat and starts butchering him with his knife. He then turns to his wife and walks towards her. He tells his master to run for his life and not look back. As he rushes towards the enemy, his master runs the other way. He traps Ling Sheng in vines, but Ling Sheng breaks free and throws him on the ground. As our hero's mother runs for her life, Ling Sheng jumps in front of her and blocks her way. With nowhere to run, she stands frozen. Ling Sheng snatches her pendant and breaks it in anger. Suddenly, tears start to fill the mother's eyes. As Ling Sheng tries to stab her with the knife, she starts remembering the time Bai told her to break the pendant when she's in danger, and he'll appear right beside her. As the pendant shatters, our hero jumps in and blocks the knife with his bare hands, shocking his mother.
He blocks his father's way and tells him that this is where it ends. All of a sudden, Bai starts reliving his past. Tied in chains, he begs his father to stop hurting his mother, but he wouldn't listen. Ling continued to beat his wife with a stick. He was angry that he works hard while his family stays at home. His son begged him to stop, but he didn't. It was the first weekend of our hero's first year of high school. His mom took him out to the amusement park for the day, but she forgot to tell him, and they didn't get home until evening. That day, Ling Sheng didn't find a job, and he came home angry, so he took it out on his family. The darkness in him had broken free, and he beat his wife to death. Witnessing it all, our protagonist was so traumatized that he underwent a second ascent advancement. His green-colored class became the platinum-colored Nucleoli Swordsman. He broke free from the chain and tied it around his father. Having lost control, Bai killed him. However, our hero was still too late, and his mother was dead. But this time, he refuses to let it repeat in this life. He stands before his mother and breaks his father's knife with an elbow punch. Ling wondered who it was that dared to oppose him, and now, seeing who it was, he feels glad that he gets to deal with his wife and son together. He runs and attacks our hero, but Bai dodges and flicks him. Ling is pushed back. As he takes a look at his Kunum blade, he's left shocked. Our hero tells the Wooming brothers to take care of his mother and urges them to take her to a safe place. Ling is amazed to see that the two Flora element monsters are his son's beasts. He now realizes that his son is one of the very rare dual elementalists with a nuclear warrior and a Flora element. He starts laughing in pride that his son has awakened a dual class at a young age. However, Ling is pissed off that his son moved out, went through his safe without permission, and sent him to prison. His anger piles up as he steps forward to punish our hero. He feels offended that his son disobeyed him. As Ling Sheng jumps at his son, our hero's mother worries for his safety. Bai switches to the Cloud Element Mage, and suddenly ice spreads through the road, trapping Ling Sheng in it. He stands shocked, and our hero tells him that the number of classes he can awaken has nothing to do with him. The man that stands before our hero is worthless in his eyes. Ling overestimates himself and thinks that just because he's a C-class fighter with experience on the field, he can overpower our hero who's just awakened. He breaks free from the ice to show his son who the real leader of the family is. However, our protagonist just takes his dagger and drives it straight through his opponent's chest. Ling is shocked to see his son break through his defenses so easily. Our hero takes the knife out, pushes him away, and tells him that he means nothing to him. Bing Sheng takes a breath and jumps at his son again, calling him an ungrateful and heartless son. But our hero swings a kick and pushes him away. He leaps at his father and continues beating him to a pulp. As Bai continues to beat his father, he makes sure to remind him that he's no match at all. He grabs Ling's face, calls him a good-for-no trash who doesn't deserve to be a man at all, and smashes his face into the ground. Bai Ling reminds his son that he still raised him and asks him to show some consideration to his family. Our hero's eyes burst red in anger as he heard this. He asks his father if he ever thought of family when he beat them up. Suddenly, our hero starts reliving his past. His father pulls his ear as he begs for him to stop, but no matter what he said, it was all useless. Ling didn't stop even when his ear was torn up. Our hero reminds his father of all the times he hit his mother and asks him if he even deserves to have a family. Bing Sheng begs at his son's feet, but our hero knows that he was like this the last time too. When he realized that he couldn't match his son's power, he started crying and begged for forgiveness.